Good day again, class. This time we're going to continue our review on professional education subjects. So we'll now go on with item number 76. In recent curricular revisions, the humanities are gradually replaced by technical courses that bear practical consequences. This allows that curricular direction is towards A. Pragmatism, B. Realism, C. Utilitarianism, or D. Essentialism. The correct answer is pragmatism. So again, when we say pragmatism, it deals with how to use practically a certain matter or a certain object. So it is also referring to the term experimentalism. It focuses on work. Next item. Met University's curriculum puts emphasis on the classics. So the curriculum is predominantly Met University is from Greece. So in this university, their curriculum is using what philosophy? Perennialist, progressivist, reconstructionist, or essentialist? The correct answer is perennialist. So when we say perennialism, class, it is never changing. So there are really lessons in life or lessons that we learned from primary years going to our tertiary years in which it is really never changing. 78. Gabi said, I cannot see it, so I won't believe it. Under which group can Gabi be classified? Is it A. Idealist, B. Pragmatist, C. Realist, or D. Empiricist? So the concept in which you don't believe in the things that you see, hear, or perceive by your senses, of course, you're what we call realistic, no? Meaning to say, mas naniniwala ka kapag nakikita, naririnig, or perceive by your senses yung mga bagay-bagay. So, that can be realist. But in this case, our answer is not realist nor idealist, it's empiricist. Okay, so if you don't see things, okay, if you don't see things, you won't believe it. Now, of course, you are what we call realist. But if you don't see things, but you still believe in it, you are idealist. So in this case, idealist is not the answer. It's because, take note, if there is from the choices a generic term, we will be choosing the generic term. So here, the generic term is empiricist. Under empiricist, meron tayong tinatawag under dyan is yung idealism. 79. Teacher Benji encourages students to develop their reasoning power to the fullest in order to arrive at knowledge. Now, Teacher Benji is a blank, is an or a blank, empiricist, rationalist, pragmatist, or essentialist. The correct answer is, of course, it's rationalist. Reasoning power is the key words. Next. Teacher may doubts the veracity of knowledge claim he has. He is considered rationalist, idealist, empiricist, or skeptic. The correct answer is skeptic. So skepticism is a form of rationalism. So skepticism is a generic term. Under skepticism, nandyan ang rationalism. 81. An emphasis on the humanities is a reflection of the blank philosophy. Is it A. Reconstructionist, B. Essentialist, C. Progressivist, D. Perennialist? The correct answer is Essentially. So the basic disciplines or the humanities subjects are at the heart of the essentialist curriculum. 82. Teacher Jenny says if it is billiard that brings students out of the classroom, let us bring it into the classroom. Perhaps I can use it to teach physics. To which philosophy does teacher Jenny adhere? Essentialist, idealist, progressivist, or existentialist? The correct answer is progressivist. Take note in the philosophy of pragmatism, it is dealing with how you are going to use or practice such work. Now, to develop or to use those work to develop yourself, we call it already as progressivism. So it is an educational theory that embraces the notion that the child is an experiencing organism who is capable of learning by doing. So, if you think that the reason why students go out is because of the billiard, now for you to develop your teaching skill, you need to bring the billiard inside the classroom so as your students would come in. So, with that, you are able to develop yourself you develop yourself as a teacher. 83. Class schedule, list of competencies to master, and uniform class requirements belong to a school governed by the educational philosophy of progressivism, existentialism, reconstructionism, essentialism. Okay, so you know already the correct answer. So the basic one, longer number of days with required books, we call it as essentialism. 84. Which classroom management technique is in line with Lao Tzu's thought in action? Is it A, student detention after class warning or after class? B, loss of privileges? C, warning? Or D, planned ignoring? The correct answer is okay, planned ignoring. So this is in line with the Chinese concept of wo wei. So which literally means doing nothing. So inaction, no action. So planned ignoring. So the concept of inaction is inconsistent with any design plan. So thus, planned ignoring is the most appropriate choice that depicts inaction. Woe. 85. Which with which philosopher did the emphasis on critical thinking begin? So the philosopher said, "The unexamined life is not worth living." This is very famous line, and usually once you have a room, this is one of the quotations that is usually posted in the classroom. It's Socrates. So note class that Socrates is the one who used this what we call Socratic method, or in short we call it as debate. Number 86. Helping in the development of graduates who are Bacadjos is an influence of course, a classical Christian. 87. The encouragement of spontaneity in the classroom is in line with the teaching of A. Lao Tzu, B. Muhammad, C. Confucius, or D. Mencius. The correct answer is letter A. Lao Tzu. So the concept of spontaneity is consistent with the concept of naturality as expounded by Lao Tzu in his Tao Te Ching. So one must act spontaneously or naturally in order not to be alienated by the Tao. So that is why also Lao Tzu is concept is very particular with just being true to oneself. 88. On whose teaching is the performance of rituals or ceremonies in schools rooted? Is it Buddha, Lao Tzu, Muhammad, or Confucius? The correct answer is letter D, Confucius. So in his Analects, he talks about rites and ceremonies. 89. Teacher Ronnie advises the class better be good in this life, treat others well. The good that you do to others will come back to you in the same way that the bad you do to others will boomerang to you. This is what they call karma. From which philosophy this originate? Taoist, Hindu, Buddhism, Shinto? The correct answer is letter B, Hindu. So the central theme of Hinduism is the concept of karma. 90. The early Egyptians adopted apprenticeship as one educational method, which is its equivalent in our present teacher education curriculum. Is it A, practicum like practice teaching, display of best work in an exhibit? C, presentation and defense of thesis or research paper? Or D, project making? The correct answer is letter A, practicum like practice teaching. So in our present or existing teacher education curriculum, prospective graduates are required to undergo apprenticeship, which is better known as practice teaching. 91. In times of war, soldiers must be ready to give up their lives in defense of the nation. Which normative relationship applies in this case? Is it A, more common good public safety before private again? B, higher law and alienable rights versus alienable rights? C, greater urgency saving the living before burying the dead. D, wider social order, the family before the individual. So, this is now a normative relationship that applies the case of letter A, more common good, public safety before private gain. So, trabaho muna, bayan muna, bago sarili. That's what it says. 92. Teacher Josephine is ordered to pass an undeserving student with a death threat. Which advice will a hedonist give? A, don't pass the student. Live by your principle of justice. B, don't pass the student. You surely will not like someone to pass undeserving students. C, pass the student. Why suffer the threat? Or D, pass the student. That will be beneficial to the student, to you, and to the parents as well. So actually, no, in this situation is not just a typical question that somehow comes out in the exam, but this can also be applied in a real life situation when you become an educator. So when you are a hedonist, you will be advising the teacher to learn C, pass the student, why suffer the threat. So the hedonists are basically pleasure seekers. So the opposite of hedonist is Epicureanism. So in this case, you love pleasure, no? And they avoid pain. You don't want any problem, so you don't want to take the threat. So therefore, pass the student. So why you will suffer? 93, which illustrates this principle. Circumstances may change a good or indifferent act into punishable one. Is it A? A professional teacher's act of insulting student is worse than a student belittling a classmate. B. To steal money from a poor classmate is worse than to steal from a rich classmate. C. Seated on a chair at the back, the teacher sleeps while he makes his class copy the notes from the board. D. Slapping someone at a moment of rage is not as worse as slapping someone to thrill. So maybe no, you can remember some of these situations, no? Pwede nyo ma-relate sa mga pinagdaanan nyo when you were elementary until you were college, maybe. So, which illustrates the principles circumstances may change a good or indifferent act into punishable one. So, the correct answer is letter C. Seated on the chair at the back, the teacher sleeps while he makes his class copy the notes from the board. Typically, class, me, I have experienced that one. My classmate is writing on the board while my teacher sleeps at the back. Then suddenly there was a principal who is roaming around seeing our teacher sleeping. So after her class, the teacher was called at the principal's office. Now you, when you become as an educator, make sure you will not do it. So the act of sleeping becomes punishable because of the circumstances that the teacher asks students to copy notes from the board while he is asleep. Worse, the teacher sleeps inside the classroom. Make sure you don't sleep inside the room, especially when you have your classes. 94. The following philosophers are behaviorists except. Okay, the correct answer is Dewey. So Watson and Pavlov maintained that classical conditioning was the key mechanism underlying all human learning. So Skinner is known for operant conditioning. Watson, Pavlov, and Skinner are famous behaviorists, while Dewey is a prominent pragmatist. 95. The following are features or characteristics of education in Athens, except A. To prepare a well-rounded individual for participation in citizenship. B. To train warriors. C. Emphasizes the development of reason. D. Uses Socratic method as teaching method. The correct answer is to train warriors. So, Spartan education aims to promote patriotism and train warriors. So, the other choices characterize education in Athens. 96. It is a philosophical school that developed collaborative evaluation, social reconstructionism, progressivism, essentialism, existentialism. The correct answer is social reconstructionism. So again, from pragmatism, it becomes progressivism for a greater good to a greater number. That is utilitarianism. But if the foundation for evaluation would evolve around the ability to think to a society, this type of evaluation is not just limited to an individual, but a formative evaluation that would entail a cooperative effort between student and teacher, teacher and administrator, meaning to say many will be involved. So it is social reconstructionism. You cannot help a certain society if there will be no help from others. That is why pag social reconstructionist ka daw, you believe in the saying, no man is an island. According to the existentialists, a school is a place where students A. can reflect on ideas, B. can observe by using their senses, C. can meet to pursue dialogue and discussion about their lives and choices, D. listen and accept that what teachers teach. Pag existentialist ka, meaning to say, though there are already proof or evidences, somehow you prefer not to see, to hear those things that you have already in front of you. So the correct answer is letter C, can meet to pursue dialogue and discussion about their lives and choices. So existentialism voice disfavor with any effort towards social control or subjugation. So it focused on personal and subjective existence. So the world of existence, choice, Responsibility is primary. So, there is already an existence, but you still have the choice and option not to see it or hear it. So, again, that's existentialism. 98. He is considered as the father of the modern science. The correct answer is Aristotle. So Aristotle is very famous with his establishment of what we call Lyceum. He is credited with the introduction of scientific method of inquiry. 99. Teacher Chris told his students, "We owe nothing to nature but our existence." He is considered naturalist, essentialist, existentialist, realist. Of course, we have already the term existence, so the correct answer is existentialist. So there is no world order or natural scheme of things of which we are born. 100. In addition to training of intellect, the blank believe that the teacher has the obligation to discipline in order to train the will. Is it perennialist, progressivist, postmodernist, or the behaviorist? The correct answer is perennialist. So the perennialist teacher would consider the most appropriate classroom environment for training of the will to be one that is characterized as rigid and structured. Kaya the training of our elders before, nung nag-uumpisa pa lang talaga ang education, in which there is a corporal punishment that is under perennialism curriculum. So we will continue the next set of reviews after this. So I will end up until 100 only. The continuation will be on the next video. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that you have learned things out from the items we have reviewed today. Thank you and God bless.